Thank you, Minister. How many High Court judgments will it take before the government will accept the wind noise? It's a health implication. We have people in Limerick at the moment, and communities are taking up their own alliances because of the health implications where wind turbines are put up. At the moment, there is wind turbine planning applications being lodged at a massive rate. And the wind turbines that are up to date never involved health organisations. The HSE were not involved in the planning applications of the ones that are existing, and they're ignoring the health implications. Again, I'm not against wind energy. I'm against locations that are causing health implications for people that are living in those areas. That's all we want, is people are entitled to their own health in their own residence. And that's all they're asking. Protect their health. We're not against wind energy, but we are against locations where you're actually causing health implications for people.
Yes,
I think we have, I've always said 33% of our electricity comes through wind, onshore wind energy. So there are very significant wind farm developments all across the country, many of which do not cause any difficulty for any communities. Same goes with solar. I've visited many of them as well, and people need as well clean, green, renewable energy that's affordable, and affordability will be driven through renewables. That said, though, the noise element of the guidelines is critically important, and I've updated you on where that's at. The adoption of revised guidelines will be a matter for planning. This is not me passing the buck, it sits under the Department of Housing, Local Government and Heritage. We're working with them directly on that. So that piece of work is nearly concluded, and I'd like to see it concluded because people need that type of certainty to see what's there. Technologies are changing for the better as well. That's why we need those guidelines updated too. And there are real issues for some people in some communities, but in many other communities there has not been issues. And we need to make sure that we can continue to drive on renewable sources of energy here. But I will keep you informed of progress. People will get an opportunity to input into these guidelines when they go out on public display, and I'm certain yourself, deputies, and many others, both in government and opposition, will want to feed into them too.
Deputy. Thank you, Minister. Again, we're talking about health, but the other side of the things, with the amount of wind turbines that are being pushed in through planning applications at the moment, it's not about wind energy. They're actually looking for, because if you look, Keane McCullough is a lecturer in Sligo, and he has Ireland's energy mix. For the month of October, we paid 115 million in curtailment cost and over 300 million in the last 3 months, taking the money from every household to put in to people that are actually profiting from wind energy. This is the business case that people are doing. They're flooding the market with these now. How many of the wind energy turbines in this country are actually owned by Ireland? How many? I believe it's 63%, I think, are owned by China-based companies. Our wind energy is a land take, and the energy won't be ours by the time it finishes. It'll be into different countries.
Now beginning to wonder whether you're actually for wind energy or not, Deputy, following your last comments there. But actually the largest renewable provider of energy in the country is Bord-na-Mona. That's a company that's actually pivoted and is an example of how a company can transition out of fossil and be a leader in delivery of renewables on land that we own as a state. Okay, so I mean, you see that when you drive through the country. Curtailment costs are an issue, and dispatch down is an issue. Why is that? Because the grid needs upgrading. Because we need more storage. We've about 1 gigawatt of storage. We need more. Okay, and storage is critically important as well, that we can dispatch energy when we need it. And this is an issue, by the way, right the way across Europe and the developed world. Not unique to Ireland, but technologies are improving. We need to expand storage as well, so that we can release that energy and reduce curtailment costs and reduce dispatch down. So that's going to happen. That's why PR6, which is the investment plan, will be published before the end of the year by CRU, which will detail what investments we need, about 16 to 18 billion euro of investment in our grid between now and 2030. And that is critical.
Offshore,
no, this is onshore. This is onshore.
We need offshore.
We do, of course. We need them to come through planning. We have 5 projects still in planning within Commission and Planola, and we're committed to offshore as well. Absolutely.
Thanks, Minister. Deputy O'Curry.